Hey everyone, welcome back to the F90 channel. I'm Chris, and today we have the new 2021 E-Class, more specifically the E450 4MATIC Plus, which is the facelifted version that is being rolled out now, or the facelifted E-Class. And before I get into the video, I want to thank Mercedes-Benz Recatina of Edison for providing this vehicle for the review. So thank you very much. And if you're in the market for Mercedes-Benz, please check out Recatina Mercedes-Benz of Edison and ask for either Alan or Manish. So starting off with the inside of the car, when we open the door here, we're met with what we have is a speaker here. It's just kind of a mesh material, plastic, with a speaker in the back. This nice trim piece, which is a soft leather, but it's not supple like this here, where you're resting yourself. So anything you're not really resting your hand on that as often is really good. It's going to be soft, but it's not going to be as supple, I would say, as something down here. So you have this trim here. You have this, it's kind of a funny design for the door pin because there's like little cutouts there. So this is a new trim. This is actually a gray ash wood. I know they had black, brown. I don't know if Europe had this, but I think this is new for the US. So this is a gray ash wood. It's kind of an interesting contrast that you have with the white. Let's move across. You have the normal seat controls. You have 1, 2, 3. So you have a 3-person memory. So if you have 3 drivers, everybody can set their preference, hold the memory seat, press 1 and set it however they want, and then you have a set seat. You also have heated seats. So let me just turn on the car first. So 3 stages: hottest, medium, and then low. And you also have a spot here for ventilated, which this car does not have. For a nicer sound system, this thing is really cool. I think anytime I see any Mercedes, it looks really awesome. You can cut your finger on this. This is machined out of metal, so if you're not too careful, you can kind of, well, it doesn't really work now, but some of them, if you go, especially where the F is here, you could really cut yourself up on that. So, but it's very, very nice. The material comes down here, and this is where we have the chrome trim piece here, just to give it a little bit of a detail, break it up. You can already see some of the ambient lighting, which we'll show later on, but it's coming through. We have this white interior, and this exterior is actually Neva Gray, Magma Gray, and Beat Text, and it has natural gray, or grain, should I say, gray ash wood, and that's how Mercedes calls it. So this isn't like a beige macchiato or anything. This is Neva Gray or Magma Gray. Okay, so then moving across, this is very nice. We have our metal door handle, which is enclosed in like this metal trim, plastic on the inside here, but we have our lock and our lock and our unlock. Moving down here, we have the supple leather, should I say. The stitching is not contrasted, but it's a nice, great touch there. So this is all very soft moving up to the door handle. We have our door controls, so to lock, so make sure your kids or anyone else doesn't open the windows. One touch up and down for all of them. So very nice feeling here. And your mirror controls as well. So to fold in all the mirrors, you just press the button, they all fold in, and then press it again to fold out, and then you can choose the left mirror, right mirror if you want to adjust using this. Moving down, this is the same type of material that you have up here. It's soft, but it's not that, again, it's not that supple leather that you're gonna be touching, but it's very nice, and it looks very nice from far away as well. You have your red light here. Okay, and then we also have our trunk open and close, so it's up, pull up to open it, down to close it. And then we also have a dedicated cup holder here, as well as some storage space, which kind of ends right around here. But you also have a space up here for something. I don't know what you'd fit in there, but good space. So then walking in, we have a nice sill where it says Mercedes-Benz. It's not illuminated or anything, but it's really nice, and it looks like it's cut out of one single piece, so very, very cool. Moving on to my favorite, the seats of the car. So these are the seats. They're power adjustable. There's no massage option on this specific car, but you can get it as an option. However, it has power lumbar here and bolster support, so you can move it forward, back, move the headrest up and down, move the back and forward. You can even extend, or actually, sorry, not extend, but push this portion down. So these are very nice. I drove it in for a little bit, and they're actually quite comfortable, as you expect from Mercedes and from an E-Class. So getting a little bit more in depth into the seat, here we have our lumbar support, up, down, so you move the actual lumbar portion of where you want it on your back, and then in or out. And I'll show that a little bit more when I get on screen as well. So you don't have an extendable rest, you do not, it's just this portion goes down. If you press down on the seat, it goes down. If you press up, it actually starts raising up. But you don't have an extension there. And the seats itself, you have this, it's not contrast stitching, but it's a little bit darker gray. This is very cool where you have the perforation for the ventilation, even though this car doesn't have the option, but it's very nice to have that. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the S-Class seats where this material, this kind of design is all over the seats, but here it's only in the center portion going up. And here you have one of my favorite things is you can move the headrest forward or back with that press of a button. So very, very cool. And there's the same thing on the passenger side seat as well. And moving on to the footwell, we have this nice carpet here where we have, they're not metal, they're just like a rubberized textured here, and this is just a plastic gas pedal, and this is a rubberized brake pedal. And they have a little piece of carpet right here that just protects your left foot when they're dead pedal when you just sit right there. So now in the car itself, it's very quiet, it's isolating. This car doesn't have any type of additional acoustic membrane that keeps it more quiet, but it's very nice inside here. Just turn this off. Okay, we have our handbrake, our electronic parking brake. The thing is, the car knows when you're parked in a certain spot and you put it in park, it puts it on itself. So I never use this when I drive any Mercedes cars. It's just there if you ever want to do it yourself. Now for the lights, you have your fog lights here. Usually people just leave it automatic, but you have your high beams lights as well as parking lights. And then you have this, which is just the brightness for the screen. So you just flip that up or down depending on your brightness setting that you want. Again, this gray trim material that just goes all the way across, which is really cool, as well as in the back. For the driver's side, we have a vent here. Moves back and forward, up and down, and then you just twist to close. Or should I say that's closed and this is open. You also have this piano black on the side here. This is nice. This is, I think most dashes are made out of this. This is kind of the same material as this here, it's soft. There's also no creaking here, which usually most Mercedes have. I think after you drive it a few thousand miles, it starts to happen, but here you have a soft type of material, as well as a huge area for a speaker. And then you move across, and you have the same type of dash and vent as well. Okay, so let's go on to the steering wheel, and I'm going to do steering wheel first, and then I'm going to do all the menus at the end. So the steering wheel, very nice leather. This is very, very, very soft. Very soft. So if I just press in there, you can see how much it just presses in without barely anything. Very cool. You don't have contrast stitching, but it's again that gray type of stitch. This is very nice. I'm not sure if it's going to come out in the camera, but you see how it's almost like a dish or a bowl. So this kind of goes in, but then it swoops out. So it's almost like as if someone placed this into a bowl. That's probably the best way you do it, because it's just, you see this, it's like a sweeping down motion, and then it sweeps back up. So it's not just like a 2D just wall of anything. It's very, very cool. Very nice and aesthetically very pleasing. You also have a hole here. So very cool. No emblems or anything there. So plastic here, we have the emblem here. And these are the new capacitive touch screens, not touch screens, but capacitive touch buttons, sorry. So there's no physical really buttons. You just kind of feel this, you know, like if you're driving, you understand this is where cancel is. If you go up, you know, this is where return is, just by these little grooves here. But I'm going to mess around this on the drive to see, because I know some people have been complaining that maybe it doesn't pick up on everything, but we'll see how that is. So this is your cruise control settings. You can go back, you could move around with this, and this is your home button. Okay, and on this side, Mercedes-Benz being redundant with its controls, which is not a bad thing. It just depends how you like it, so you have it there. And if you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it, but if you want to, you can. So home button, up, down, left, right, and OK. A return button, MBUX, favorites, volume control, answering the phone, and also to end the call as well. Very cool. So here are the paddles. So you have a chrome piece on top. So this is the downshift and plus here, and also a chrome trim piece up here. And then this is what it looks like from the back. And it's also piano, or not piano black, sorry. It just looks piano black on the camera, but it's not. It's all just the same color, just kind of swoops down. So that's the sound. So very nice sound. It's, you know when the upshift happens or when the downshift happens. So very, very cool. You then have your indicator stock, as well as your wipers, different settings, as well as your washer. And this is the little stalk down here is to move the wheel up or down. And if you had a heated steering wheel, it'd be right here, and you could adjust that yourself. And then you have drive, half step up as neutral, and all the way up as reverse. And then you also have park button right there. And then moving across, you have your engine start and stop, your ignition right here. So very nice design. They've been using this for a few years. And then all the way across, we have those vents again, except these are smaller. So you could only adjust moving up and down. And I think they close both. Yes. So these is what you use to close and open the vents. But these are much smaller than these here. Okay, and then moving all the way across with the trim. You also have a chrome trim piece all the way across here that goes all the way to the door and comes around, and this is where it meets up right here. And then you have the ambient lighting underneath, which I really like an E-Class that goes all the way across. Some of the SUVs have it where it's just here and it doesn't go all the way across. When it goes all the way across, very, very nice touch. You have an AC control, so temperature up and down, so hotter or cooler. The direction you want the AC to go. Actually, I'm going to turn this on a little bit because it is actually pretty warm in here. And that's the chiming you hear when I turn on the car. It's the new chime actually that they have. There you go, and it stops. So let's put this to 65. So right here, it shows up on the left-hand side of the screen. And let's put this to airflow 3, maybe 2 actually. This is auto, max for the front windshield menu. So if you press menu, it actually goes to the AC controls here. So you also have the AC controls here, but I'll go over that later. Rear defroster, the sync where it syncs both sides of the climate zones, recirculating the air, AC on or off, and as well as the passenger side. So you have your telephone button, which you press, and the telephone comes up. Navi map, shortcut, radio media, the blank, nice piano black here with the chrome trim piece. Vehicle button, where you have your, your ESP. You also have the drive select modes here as well, and anything to do with the vehicle. You have your favorites button, so whatever you use to set up your favorites, and your hazards button, hazards. This nice piece, which since it's not an AMG, usually you have an AMG logo here, but this doesn't have anything, so it's a nice clean look. You also have the chrome trim piece here, or aluminum trim piece, should I say. And then you just one click up. And since it's COVID, you don't have to have hand sanitizer. Let's move that out of the way. Here you have your cup holder, which has a nice design because you could just kind of flick this up and just pull it out, and you have more space there. Put that back in and then lock it into place. Up here, when you lift up, you actually have an ashtray. I wonder if I could remove that. I can. So you could remove it, and then there's more space there. This is kind of what it looks like. Just flip up. There's your ashtray. And you just put it back in. Slides right in. You also have your cigarette lighter and your USB-C right there. The one thing I would say about the cup holders though is what I've noticed is if you have even just a regular bottle of water, it goes up to here. This doesn't support as much. It only supports really the bottom fourth, actually not even bottom third, bottom fourth of the cup. So if it was up to here, it'd be much better. So if you have a bigger cup, then you're fine because then it kind of rests on this. Like you buy the McDonald's soda, this is only going to be for US people anyway. You buy the McDonald's soda, the big one, you put it here and it kind of rests on here, and then it you're able to fit it here. But otherwise, the small bottle wallet kind of moves around a little bit when you're driving around. Okay, then moving down the center console here, where we have this kind of U shape, which is nice because this is where the lighting, ambient lighting goes as well. And here we have the new touch screen, so as well as up and down and right and left. We have a return, change for the radio stations, as well as a home button that brings you back to home. Okay, and then we have our select for, if we are in comfort. So we are drive select, so we are in eco. You also have comfort, sport, and sport plus, as well as individual. And sport plus, it raises the RPM, it looks like, by 200 RPM. So not by much, but it's sportier. So in eco, we have our parking sensors off or on, a parking camera, so we can find parking. So this car has a parking assist. So I believe it's horizontal as well as vertical, or what the new cars are doing. I believe before it was just parallel parking, but I believe now it does vertical spaces as well if you need to. Then we also have all the different cameras there, so we'll show that afterwards. The auto start stop is here, so off or on. We have 2 blanks, and then that should be for the screen, but Nothing is happening right now. Or it might be actually for the radio. Let me see. Nope. But anyway, then we have the volume control up and down, as well as you click to mute it. Moving down the center console here, we have a button which is it's plastic, and this is a trim piece here. We have that same soft leather, since you're going to be touching this a lot. Press the button, folds out, and you have one USB-C instead of two. A nice felt material here. It's decently sized. I think you could get probably good enough space for 4 sunglass holders. I think that's probably as much as you could do. I don't even know. You can maybe get a bottle of water like this, but that's really about it. Okay, and the A-pillar is done in this nice material. You could hear that. And then it gets really soft up here. Okay, we have our handle here. Seatbelt. Our speaker for our MBUX. We also have this visor here, where if we open it up, we have our holder. We have a light, so if we flip this up, there we are, light. Then moving across, we have our mirror. And this is what I was talking about in the exterior view. There's this huge part here, but this is where all the sensors are. So mirror is there. There's no compass in there, but we do have the garage home link on the bottom right here. And we have the lights as well on the 2 sides. So here we have the controls for the sunroof. So we have tilt, and we also have one touch? Yes, one touch back. And it opens up. Okay, so let's close that. And then we have our lighting here, which we just press this huge button up here, and then that lights up very slowly, very nice. And press it again, and it goes off. We also have our holder here for our sunglasses, very nice. This is very nice texture material. Actually, here, this rubber, very, very grippy. And close that up. We have our reading lights for both sides and also for the right side. Turn that off. We have our door locks off, the main light, rear lights in the back. Press that. We have a Mercedes Me, which is just a connection service to Mercedes. Kind of, usually you see that wrench symbol in most other luxury cars, and that's if you need help. There's also the SOS button, which I really want to press, like I told you guys, but I'm not going to because we need to be professional here. But we have these cool design, like actually this is painted red as well on either side of it, so you know it's very serious. Close that up. Okay, so let's start going through all these menus. So let's click home here. And we're going to start off with our first. So this is our main sort of menu that we have that we could scroll through. And you can see me using the wheel right there. Let's go to assistance. So first we have our distance here. Now some cars have it where there's a distance there, but that doesn't mean that they have the actual distance or distronic where the car is going to measure the distance from the car. It measures it here on the screen, but it's not going to slow down or speed up. Because here, as you see, you only have an on-off, but you don't have the distance selector here. So I've noticed some cars have this, and some cars have the distance selector here, and your on-off button would be here, and then the home and return button would be one button, integrated. So the cars that do have the Distronic Plus have that. So this is, I believe, just for display, just to see the car, but it might be also useful for the car when it reads the sensors. I think it might be using it for reading the sensors and early braking and stuff like that, and safety. So if we scroll down to the second little, you see the little dot that we have up here, so we know we have 3 menus. Attention level, system is suspended, so because I've driven it like 2 seconds. And then we're gonna scroll down, and let's say, oh, let's go back to that. And then we click on this display. Ooh, that's very cool. And there's lights in the distance, as if we're gonna go and drive over there. That's very neat, actually. It looks like turbine wheels, and it kind of just like, that's very awesome, but it kind of goes down and just lines up and goes all the way back. That's a very cool design. I don't even know they had that. So you can make that actually full screen, so that's really awesome. Very nice. Go back to home screen. To our phone. Okay, it's ready for Bluetooth telephony. Haven't seen that word in a while, but that's gonna be your Bluetooth phone. And then I believe that's it for the phone. Yes, unless you have a connect, I'm sure there's gonna be more options. Navigation, so we have this as well as previous destinations. Ah, there's a little map right there. And then we could have a full display, so if we press full display, there's our full display. I wonder how you, there we go. You go left to right in order to zoom in. I thought it was actually the control here on the bottom, but it's actually left to right to zoom in and out. So very, very, very neat. Go back to home. Go to trip. So this is going to be our fuel economy for the most part. And they also have some extra screens in there. So if you scroll up, this is actually how many miles. So we have 58 miles on the car. These are going to be at current speed. So if you want to keep the current speed there, again, because the gauges or screens, you could adjust as much as you want. So you could have, you know, basically all three of them reading mile per hour if you really wanted to. Consumption. So you have a good consumption data here, as well as your miles per hour. This is acceleration, coasting, and constant. So again, you get bonus miles for using these type of things. So it depends on how hard your acceleration is. Are you coasting to save fuel? Are you keeping a consistent throttle? You know, all that's going to help with your fuel economy. So that has it here. So it shows you how many miles you get extra just from driving that way. Okay, miles from start, how long you've been driving for, your average speed, as well as, your average MPG, as well as your average speed. From reset as well with the same type of data. And then the last screen is going to be a full display, which this is really cool. I didn't know they had this full screen. Oh, look at that. You know, that's really awesome, actually. That's super cool. So they have all this consumption here. Oh, 60. Yeah, imagine a 60 MPG. Jeez. Don't live that life. No, I don't. So, and then you have a road down there. Very cool. And click the home button again. And let's click it one more time. Okay, and then we have radio. So we have different radio stations we can switch to. Okay, go back to home. Media. No device connected right now, but then we have some options if we do. Designs and displays. So right now we're in sport. So let's go up to classic. That's classic. Very nice, calm sort of look. And sport is the one that we just had. Progressive. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, these kind of gray lines that show up. It's kind of a futuristic sort of look. That's really cool. You see our RPMs right there. And then understated, which, look at that. So you have a clock here on the right, or miles per hour, so you don't really need anything else. It's just that. So very cool. And then with our standard displays, I guess just that. This kind of seems the same as progressive, to be honest. Oh, no, we didn't click it. And then let's go to service. So here's you're gonna have your service history. So 0 messages because there's no service right now. So tires, you're gonna have your tire pressure display after driving a few minutes, which I haven't been. Assistant Plus, so okay, that's the service again. And then we have our coolant. Okay. And then the last thing is going to be our engine oil level. Boom, good. Okay, so on the, once this goes away, let me see. Let me just pick something. I will pick the trip info. There we go. There we go. So here we have our miles per hour, which is really cool. Very nice, very nicely done with the sport. And then we have little red indicators here for most of the speed limits, so 55 as well as 35. This red line kind of goes across. So if you see up here, then the little red lines show up when you've passed it, which is very nice. Okay, we have our fuel gauge here. So 4 quadrants. P for, I guess, oh, actually that's for the parking spot. So if it notices there's parking spots around me, so I can use the parking system. Here we have the drive modes. Since this has that starter motor with the electricity, when you're on the gas, it uses this portion of the gauge. And then when you come off of it, it's charging because it could actually recoup and regenerative brake a little bit. I didn't feel anything. It's not as aggressive as Tesla. Even in the low mode, it's nowhere near that. I think it's just very slight. And honestly, I didn't feel it whatsoever. And you have your revs here as well as a clock and temperature. So it's 64 degrees and very windy. And that's really it for that display. And then we have a continuous display. So both of these, I believe, are 12.3 inches going across. Okay, so now getting into the main screen. So clicking home here, I'm going to be using this touchpad. Let's go here. So phone, we could have phone 1 and phone 2 connected. This is also touchscreen. And we have contacts that we could search for. and return button up there. Bluetooth, as well as, let's see, settings. Different formats that you want to have your contacts in. And these are just hotkeys, so it just goes straight to your contacts. It's just Mercedes me. You have profiles here, so you can set up a profile for each driver. So each driver is going to have a certain setting for how they want the menu set up. So again, it's like a phone. So if I wanted to move this phone thing, I could just hold it and I could move it wherever I want it to go. So that person, see, there it is, and you switch. No, I want to move it back here. Okay, cool. And that's it. So everybody has their own profile, so how they want to drive. So you could have multiple drivers, again, multiple seat, memory seat options, profile options. So it's really nice. General settings, and that's really it. And you could create a profile. You have a search bar up here as well. So you have your connectivity, time, as well as any messages that have shown up or any notifications. There's nothing here. Settings, Mercedes Me Connect, and allow notifications, display, notification center, show notifications, and acoustic notifications all right here. So how you want to be notified. So navigation, here we are. So this is where we're at. Where do we want to go? Nowhere right now, but everything comes up. And there's previous destinations here, your favorites, your recent destinations, your point of interest, gas stations, parking, restaurants, contacts, save routes, and geo coordinates all there. And you could type, or you could even use this here. So you could type in O, or actually I think you believe you have to hit this thing here. And then you could just make an O, it's O. There you go. And it's going to start calculating where the route is. And then you have mute, so cancel the voice navigation. And this is, I believe, to take you home or to a point you've been to before, but you could set up as your home address. Settings are here. So traffic, parking, highway information, and advanced information. Let's go back. Here, if you press it, it's going to be along the way. So if you press it, it's going to be bar and restaurants along the way, sorted by distance. You could just, and then you could search it also. And then you also have a compass, so that's going to just bring that up. I don't know when I've ever used this type of information, but I guess the elevation might be pretty neat when you're driving up in the mountains, so you can tell how much power your car is losing up in higher elevations. And then you can blame it on, you know, the race that you lost. This is not a personal story whatsoever. You definitely don't want to blame the elevation on, you know, losing a race whatsoever. Let's go back to navigation. You have parking, so this should be able to find different parking and public parking spots that you can use. And then you have 2D as well as from up above, and as well as a 3D view, so it kind of gives you a 3D view of everything like that. That's kind of cool. And you also have 2D from straight up. And then again, the hotkeys are there, so if you want to go navigation or you want to go home, it's right there. Radio is here, so here's our radio. Let's turn that down. And you have FM as well as AM. Let's go back to Sirius and turn that off. And then you have your presets here, and let's see how many, oh, let's go back. Let's see how many we have. We have, actually no, we have more than that. You have 20 presets that you could set up for radio stations. You can just move across them. Okay, you have a search for station. You have Sirius XM radio, category you want to go into, featured favorites, tune mix lists, and any emergency warnings are done through there also. You pause or play. Pause. Okay, I believe you could rewind this because this is Sirius XM. If this was FM, you shouldn't be able to. But you do have HD radio there. Okay, and then you have settings as well. You have an equalizer, which you can mess with. Your balance and fader, which you can move around. Sound and focus. And you could optimize it where you want the sound to go. You also have sound profiles and volume. So automatic adjustment can happen. And that's Burmeister, and you also have general. So general settings are here, and you could have full screen cover. So look at that. I guess we're listening to Jennifer Page. And go back to home. And again, we also have the presets buttons there. So play, as well as if we press this button here, we're going to go to the equalizer. Okay, so media. There's no media connectors. We're not going to really have anything, but you have Bluetooth as well as USB. You can search for music, and you can, let's see, nothing should come up because it's not connected, so. We also have our settings. So we have an equalizer, basically the same exact menu that we had for the radio. Now going into comfort, so you're buying a Mercedes, you're buying an E-Class for the comfort, right? So let's see what we have here. So we have seat kinetics. So this is interesting because I initially thought this were massage seats, but they're not. They just seem to activate the bolsters that are here every so often, apparently. So you can see here, they show up on the driver and passenger side. If I click the little settings button, so backrest and seat surface are going to go, or do you want back seat and seat surface, do you want backrest, or do you want seat surface? And then what duration do you want, medium, long, or short? So these seem to activate when you've been on a longer journey. They're not massage seats, but they just seem to kind of freshen you up a little bit, because if you're on a long journey, things, you know, you get stiff and you don't have as good butt flow because you're just sitting in one position. So this really helps with that. You also have seat heating balance. So this is new. I've never actually really seen this before. Down here you can see there's a marking for the bottom, so that should be just the bottom. So I guess you could have the seat heating balance just for the bottom. You could have it for the bottom and the back, and you could have just the back and the top. So you don't even have to have your bottom heated, or you could have everything. There's a whole balance actually. You could just move it where, oh, that's awesome. So you could actually move it to there. You can move it to there. There's a lot of customization here. And the same thing for the passenger too. That's very neat. And you can reset it as well. So let me play here. So I hit play. Does that do anything? Oh, okay. So I hit play, and the seat is moving me back, and now it's moving forward. It moved forward, and now it's moving back. Okay, so I think it does more than just the bolsters. I think yeah, now it's moving the leg seat up and down. So I think it just messes with the controls here. So it'll mess with the bolsters, it'll mess with this moving up and down, this up and down. So I think it just moves you around in ways, I guess, just to kind of promote some kind of movement. So without you actually having to reach over here, the car does it for you itself. And the same thing for the passenger side. So very cool. Ambient lighting, so this is very awesome, as we know from this. So we have multicolor, so you have these all different colors. So you have ocean blue. Purple sky is one of my favorite because that's the one that is really blue, and you see in a lot of different cars. Fortunately, it's still daylight now, so we don't have that nighttime view, but we also have it down here. We have it starting off from the trim piece right here, going all the way across, all the way to the right, as well as in the back. Very neat, so this is going to look really good. Red moon, fire red, dawn blue, sun yellow, jungle green, glacier blue, color flash, and color mix. Color flash seems to stay in one part. I don't know if it just flashes for some reason. I've never gotten it to really work exactly right. Color mix seems to change the colors. So let's put it on purple sky. You could also have your own color. So you have here, you can just pick whatever you want. So let's land on red. And everything is red. So, but let's leave it on that blue. That blue is really awesome. You could also have it on welcome, and you also have it on climate. So when you change the climate temperature up, it's going to be red. If you change temperature down, it's going to turn blue, meaning colder and warmer. Brightness, you can set the brightness. So do you want the zones? Oh, even the display too. So you can set the brightness for all the ambient lighting around. Very nice. And that's your comfort settings. So you have a quick button here for your seat kinesthetics, as well as your ambient lighting. Your information, so here we have vehicle information, acceleration, and then brake percentages right here. And you can make this full screen also. So if you're driving somewhere on track, or you want to show your passengers how cool you are with your braking, acceleration, how good you are, as well as your steering angle changes, you could have that up. You have your engine. Oh, very nice. So you have your coolant. Yeah, so you have your engine temperature here, your battery voltage, the horsepower, the pound-feet of torque, the PSI. Nice. This is very new. This is very, really cool. Performance, engine torque. Usually just for AMG stuff, but this is really nice they have this here. And then you have your engine temperature here, so this is cool. This is engine temp here. Okay, and then we have, yeah, very cool. Change in air pressures here too, PSI. This is going to be your boost. All right. So that's performance and engine torque. All right, cool. And then consumption. That's going to be your consumption over a 30-minute interval. Then you have your operator's manual. So you have everything in here. As long as you're stopped, you get access to everything you need there, which is very neat. And then here's the performance and the gauges that you could get to really quickly. Mercedes Me apps. So here we have a browser that we can get to. So let's press that. And then you can type in the URL. Oh, there it is. It's starting up. And you have different browsers. So you can block pop-ups too. I guess it does take a minute to get started. Or maybe you need to pay for it. Not sure. Smartphone, no device connected. So you have a smartphone, you have Mercedes Me. So these are just the app that they have. And they also, I believe you could have weather too if you add on to it. But that's all here. Settings. So ESP, everybody's favorite. Do we want it on or off? We have our, I believe this is for towing. So tow away protection on. We have nice little graphics. And this is going to be our interior motion sensor off. We can have it on also. So that turns green. Very cool. Assistance, camera and parking. So early walk around, you could have different, how loud do you want the volume, what kind of pitch do you want, let's just put it there. Audio fade in for warning tones, maneuver assistance, open camera cover if you want to clean it, so press that. Active brake assist, do you want it early, medium, late, or off? Leave it on medium. Attention assist, so car grades you on how bad you're driving. Do you want it sensitive, standard, off, or do you want it to suggest a rest area? There's also traffic light view. So if you come up to an intersection, it's actually going to give you the view. So when I was driving this on an intersection, it actually came up and it gave me the camera view of the entire intersection. Blind spot assist on or off. Going to vehicle, so dynamic select here, we have the individual configuration. So we have ESP, we could have comfort, sport, or sport plus, steering, comfort, or sport, and drive, we could have an eco, comfort, sport, sport plus, or manual. So we'll mess with that when we're driving. Automatic seat adjustments here, so you can, oh wow, it automatically adjusts to rear. Okay, well this is great. I'm 6'1", but I'm 6, but that's good. That's starting position. Oh, that's really cool. So this is different. This is new. So adding this, okay, the seat height is there. You can have in centimeters too for our friends overseas. Starting position, steering wheel seat, steering wheel only, and off. You have your automatic belt adjustment, so when you get in, it just tightens it up, just like the graphic there. You have an acoustic lock, so it gives you a sound when you lock the door. Automatic door lock, so automatically lock it, and automatic folding when you lock the car. Trunk lid restriction. So when it reaches a certain height, it'll stop from opening and close back up, and there's also a gas station search. There's also lighting, so ambient lighting is the same menu that we had before. Let's go back. We have also the exterior lighting delay. So do you want the car exterior lighting to be delayed for 30 seconds when you leave the car, 60 seconds, 15 seconds, or do you want it off without any light? There's also interior lighting delay, a daytime running lights, do you want them on or off, and there's also a locator light, which is there on the side of the car. So the design displays we already went through. Display brightness we already have, but this is just another menu in order to use it. You could turn off the display. Now it's off. That should be what this button does, but oh, there it is. Now it worked. Yeah. And system. Let's go back. There we go. There's a day-night design. So do you want it to? It turns into like a night mode, kind of you have on your phone. So you have one during the day, and you also have one during the night, and that'll do it automatically. And there you go. And that's that last setting. And then on the bottom here, we have themes. So if you're taking a trip, you can go into comfort, and it'll put everything in comfort. Do you want to kind of drive spirited, put it into this S experience. E for efficiency, if you just don't want to drive as efficiently as possible. Another one for lounge, if you just want to, I guess, chill. And then C for standard. These are interesting. But you could also create a different theme. So you could probably have one for sport plus. If you want to drive spiritedly, you could have different settings there. And all the way down for the favorites, you could set up your assistant, you set up the sound, you set up the display. You have your own operator's menu as well. You could create a favorite and you could set a new order for that. So that really is your entire menu. So there's a lot of stuff here in this car. There's a lot to mess around with, and the E-Class, there's a lot of stuff that you can mess with. And the seat kinetics, I think, is really the cool thing, because I think a lot of people have been wanting comfort in the cars. So having that as an option is really, really neat. Checking out the rear of the car, you have the same type of material they have in the front here, with the same door pins with the little inserts cut out. And this is like a nice soft material. You have that gray ash wood here, as well as a second speaker with the main one. That chrome trim piece here with the ambient lighting underneath. Very nice. That Neva gray interior, door handle and trim piece, as well as door adjustment up and down. And then you have some storage here, which kind of goes up to the top there. You have a side sill here, which is this nice one-piece material. And then stepping inside, there we go. A little pocket here, you could put stuff in. Again, on the right side, sort of what the seats look like. So you still have that same material that kind of echoes the front. Little headrests here, pretty small, they're like my hand. They can move up or down. This one's up, you have that one down. You have nice material here. You also have that little Isoflex positions where you could put in your child seats. Nice perforations here, so pretty much the same as you have in the front as well. Here we have, it's really just, yeah, it's made to look like this leather. It looks really nice. On the camera it looks the same, but it's not. So the small little air vents, kind of like you do have there in the front. You have right here, and you can turn them off or on. Nothing here. And you open this part, you have a little ashtray as well as you have a little charger there. Folding down this right here where the pass-through is. Fold this down itself. You could have a little, you actually have a little button right here. If you press it, this folds down. So you can have a pass-through with just skis or anything else. You also have a tether up here for, again, the child seat. But folding this down, we have a little button here. We just, and there we go. I guess that's what locks it in. All you have to do in order to open the cup holder is you just press the button there, and it just, boom, folds out like that. So you have your cup holders there. You have a pass-through. You have a nice little thing here you could pull on in order to pull it out. And this is really the back. Okay, so sitting in the passenger seat now, on the side you have the same door controls as well as heated seats, as well as a 3-person memory for the passenger. If you have 3 different passengers, the speaker, same trim, same ambient lighting as the driver's side. You have a cup holder down here, storage space down here. You have your vent as well as dash and a huge trim piece here with the ambient lighting and the aluminum trim. And you do have your glove box, so let's open it up. We'll read that later. So I think gloves box is getting smaller and smaller. There's a decent amount of space here. There's like a little shelf that you could put here. I don't know if you're going to be able to put a lot of stuff. This seems to be kind of obstructed when you push up. So really the only space you have is here, and that's really about it. Maybe something small here, but I don't even know. You could fit a bottle of water, but it has to be like this. You also have your lock, your trunk, as well as your unlock here. So you could either lock or unlock the trunk. Then you have your AC here, so you could have a cooled glove box. So right now it's blowing air. You can close it, or you can open it. Okay, and then lastly, let's look at the window sticker. So 2021 E450 4MATIC sedan. Is a 3-liter inline-6 turbo engine with EcoBoost, 360 horsepower, 369 pound-feet torque, 9-speed. These are all the comfort and convenience that you have. So it's dual zone. I believe, at least from the online, I cannot tell that there's a 3-zone option to put on any E-Class, new E-Class actually. They had them in the previous pre-facelift version, but for some reason now it's not there. Okay, so options. This is a black outside, Neva gray, magma gray inside, a natural gray, grain gray ash wood. And then optional equipment and value packages. So we have, actually, I guess some credit. Augmented video for navigation. So that's the video with the traffic that I was mentioning, as well as when you're driving, it's going to give you arrows where you're supposed to go. Neva gray headliner, which is what we have here. Your LED logo projectors 2-pack. So should have it here. Yep, there it is. You can see it on my hand, and it's a Mercedes symbol. Okay, and there's a premium pack. So there's the Parktronic with active park assist, so it parks itself. Surround view system, so that's going to be the cameras. Your Burmeister surround system, so there's your Burmeister sound system. And Sirius XM radio with all access trial is in there as well. And destination delivery is 1,000. So the total retail for this car is $65,875. And here's your MPG, 26 MPG, 23 city and 30 highway. Okay, and now for the trunk, we just lift up on that, opens up. And excuse me, I have all my equipment here, but that gives you a good gauge of where everything is. Seats there. You actually have these latches here, which you can pull, and that folds the seat down. You have a little hook thing here, which you can pull down so you can hang groceries. So I'll show that later, but it's your trunk space. E-Classes have this unique thing where there's actually a little gradient going up. So it's not flat, it goes and then it slopes up a little bit here in the trunk. You still have the room, which is kind of a weird design. I'm sure it's for the powertrain or for something designed specifically for that. Let's see what we have here. We have our first aid, which is, let's take a look at that. So Mercedes' first aid, pretty neat. Okay, and then we also have a cargo net here, which you could attach to the different hooks that you have You actually have a good amount of space here, but the different hooks that you have that you can attach here into the trunk. Okay, and then the right side, here are the hooks right here. Can we move these? I don't think so. Okay, and then just to show the latches here, so you pull back, pull back. Fortunately, they don't fold down themselves. You're gonna have to push on them, and they fold down, and that's what we have. This is how much space you can expect, so a good amount of space. Okay, and then underneath everything, we have this little latch. We just easily, wow, that really flips up really easily. Pull up, you have your cargo kind of crate, so it just folds up like that, and then when you fold it out, it's a little box. Tow hook here, a lot of space here. I don't see, oh, there's actually a license plate holder there. I believe the tire fit mobility kit would have to be ordered, but I don't see it in this one. So there's no really spares. It's just the kind of the gunk that they put into the tire when you get it flat, so you can roll to a service station and get it serviced that way. And then the last thing, we have our lock and also our trunk closed, so one touch. And there we go, done. So that wraps it up for the interior in-depth review of the 2021 E-Class, the new facelift that they have coming out, specifically for the E450 4MATIC, which we have here today. So I hope you guys liked it. If there's something that I missed or something you guys want to know, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer any queries that you guys have. Besides that, we also have a driving review that's coming up with this car, so we'll see how this drives and how this electrical system actually works, or if it's kind of a gimmick. So we'll see with that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.